Good afternoon and welcome everyone to Spokane City Council Agenda Review Meeting. Ms. Pfister, will you call the roll?
Council President Wilkerson.
Present.
Councilmember Dillon.
Here.
Councilmember Cathcart.
Present. Councilmember
Bingle.
Here.
Councilmember Sapone.
Here.
Councilmember Klitsky. Present. Councilmember Navarrete. Here. Let the record reflect that all council members are present.
Great, thank you. We have one board interview today. Alexa, if you'd like to come on down. And this is for the library board. You want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit why you're interested in serving on the library board.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alexa Castilla, and I grew up in Spokane. I chose to move back here and raise my family here. And why I was initially interested, well, two reasons. One, I love the library. I was homeschooled growing up, and so the library was like everything. And I have really fond memories of just going and reading for hours during the day. And so there's that love, and I think especially as an adult and seeing how important the library is to our community, it's just only grown. So there's that desire. And then I have a family, and watching like my daughter's face as she runs around the library, because she's a 3-year-old toddler, just like wanting to make sure that continues for everyone in the community that's really just it.
Okay. Any questions for Alexa? I'd like to ask you a little bit. You homeschool your children, so how do you see the library really strengthening that relationship with homeschool parents and that resource?
So I don't homeschool. I was homeschooled.
You were homeschooled.
Yeah. But I'm not able to homeschool my child. But I do think that population is really important. So as far as strengthening it, I think it's just about access. So making sure that everyone has access and availability to services. And I actually think the library has done a really good job of that already. They've expanded programs and provided small things that I think are often overlooked. So, classes, you can find anything from classes about yoga to specific classes about different cultural experiences. And all of that is learning. And so my experience with homeschooling is like the world is how you learn, right? You're not necessarily stuck in a school environment and you're learning from a book, you're also learning from doing. And it just comes with opportunity. So I would definitely push for more of those, as funding allows, of course. But I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Any other questions from council members? Well, I have one more. Speaking of funding, every entity is facing budget cuts. And so we know funding will be a challenge, not only to everything else, but the library. And you mentioned a lot of services, which I absolutely support, but difficult decisions will have to be made. So overall, kind of what's your thinking or what's your familiarity with budgeting?
So right now, I work for the state, and I manage a state budget. And so I think everyone knows what's going on across the country and just even in our own state and decisions that are happening right now. So I think it's about really trying to understand people's concerns about that and find the programs that are going to be, I don't want to say sustainable, but like maybe serve the most population. So I also think that there's a lot of ways you can be creative with funding and looking for more innovative ways to use funding. And I think that comes with partnerships. So if I'm envisioning like what the library could do is build on those community partnerships that are here and utilize maybe other different types of funding. So that could be by like partnering with a community organization.
Thank you. Any other questions? Well, thank you for stepping up and putting your name in to serve. You'll be hearing from us. We are always looking for people who are committed to the work of the city. So thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great. And I'll turn it over to the city administrator, Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Council President. I believe we have one item for briefing today. That will be Dan Buller talking about consent item number 11.
I can say that my wife homeschooled all 4 of my kids, and the library was essential. It wouldn't have been possible without the library.
Great. Well, thank you for that.
Okay, so the question was about Scott Elementary. We had 6 bidders. Low bidder, 1.1 million, which sounds like a crazy amount for sidewalk, and it is, except for the 6 bidders who told us it's not a crazy bid. So unless I'm willing to do it for less, then that's the bid we got. And we have the sidewalk project there is shown on the screen on the east side of Rebecca, the north side of Hartson, and every place where there is a circle is where there is a bump out. And on the next slide, if Jacoby, Alex, can you ding it one? Is what a typical bump out would look like. Everybody, can you go back one slide now? So everybody along the alignment there got a letter from us, including the school. The project won't begin until school is out, so shouldn't disrupt the kids terribly much. That was my guess as to what your questions might be, but now maybe you'll educate me.
I'll just say we have the opportunity, Councilmember Cathcart, Councilmember Navarrete, myself, and our communications director had the opportunity to meet with the principal of Francis Scott, which I had not paid as close attention as I should have. And they are appreciative, but their perspective is the bump outs are really not making it any safer for the kids. And the challenge, even though letters were sent, she says that's a neighborhood that's really challenged around engagement, working families, and so you probably did not receive much, if any, feedback. So other than your letters, was that the only engagement that actually happened in that neighborhood?
The letters, yes. And then right before construction, like 2-3 weeks before, we send flyers that go on people's front door saying, hey, construction is happening, don't park right here, that sort of thing.
So I guess I just challenged if there was letters and there was no feedback.
Can I say,
Yes.
on sidewalk, so we have a multi-layered approach to our projects. What the type of project dictates what our outreach will be. If it's a grind and overlay in the middle of a street, you get a letter. If it's, even though all of this is on city right away, if there's a sidewalk in your front yard, it's your front yard, but the city owns where we are, then you get an individualized picture that shows, where the sidewalk will be, what, your shrubs that are going away, your trees that will get killed, and that sort of thing. So on sidewalk projects, we take a much more tender approach, for lack of a better word, because it's in my yard, even though it's not my yard, it's the city's right away. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's great. I'm just saying the feedback we got, which we want to understand more, it's like, even though the letters may have went out, the neighborhood really did not embrace or understand the projects. This is according to the principal and her leadership staff down there at the school. So just concerned and want to hear more about it. Councilmember Bingo.
I guess what's the problem with the project then?
Well, the project is, they're not against the project, but it's really not, they feel, solving the issues of safety in the neighborhood with traffic along Hartson. So she feels like they had been more engaged. They could have given better potential opportunities to make it safer around Francis Scott, Ray, 3rd Avenue, that whole area. But this is just along Hartson.
And this wasn't primarily a traffic calming project.
Right.
It was primarily, it's under the funding Safe Routes to Schools, which gives you the idea of this sidewalk, or of the purpose. Hartson, even after we're done with the bump outs, is fairly wide and long and straight, and a nice parallel to 3rd Avenue there on the south side of the freeway. So, but it was primarily a sidewalk,
Right.
project.
It's all about speed, because they just hop over to Hartson, and that was the issue. So, thank you. Any other council member questions? Councilmember Navarrete?
So is it to slow down cars or what exactly is the purpose?
The purpose of Safe Routes to Schools is to provide sidewalks for kids to get to schools.
Okay, so I live a block away from Francis Scott, and I'm just trying to picture exactly where they're going to be.
Which street do you live on? Well, maybe you don't want that. No, never mind.
Don't answer.
I live on Farrell and Fifth. I don't know, I just really hope that they are going to be safer, because cars don't stop for the kids that cross the Freya to go to the school. So I really hope this helps.
And this is east of Freya. As you see, Freya is on the left side of the drawing there. There are some crosswalks associated with the bump outs, I can tell you that as well. But again, primarily getting the kids, I mean, I don't know that kids were walking on the road as much as through neighbors' yards, which may be muddy, or maybe on the road when the planter is in the way, but it really was primarily a kids on sidewalks as opposed to a traffic calming project.
Councilmember Cathcart?
Yeah, I can recall doorbelling in there 2 years ago, and it was scary as hell. Cars whizzing by, and there is no sidewalk, and for a lot of that. And so I definitely see sidewalks as being needed in that zone, so glad to see it coming to fruition.
Councilmember Bingle?
Yeah, what would the feedback have been? What would they have preferred to see based on that meeting?
We were not there to ask the principal about that, but she was just very emphatic that, there could have been things differently. So that's why I was asking specifically, what was the engagement? If it was just letters and no feedback, how much do you expect residents and principals to do? Councilmember Dillon?
Yeah, just thank you, Dan, for bringing this forward. I think I really see this as one part of a lot of the safety measures that are needed and are also happening concurrently around Francis Scott. I mean, we have the East Fifth revitalization. We have the, WASDOT surplus land, a lot of addressing different park needs and access. And so I think that this really is a critical part of that. And the sidewalks are absolutely essential for students to get to school safely. And I think one big just takeaway from that conversation that we did have with the principal was this is unrelated to this project in a way, but just for you to be aware of the students that are living, 2 blocks or so and still having to bus to school because it is so hazardous. And I think that the sidewalks are awesome. Really happy that that's going in. Part of, I think, the bigger kind of envisioning for East Central and those safety points is, from the school's perspective, also addressing those. So, yeah.
Thank you. Not opposed, just want you to know that we'd heard a little something different and want to share that with you. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That's all I got. I'm going to have Mr. Wright's going to take us through a couple of amendments and deferral requests for tonight.
Thank you, Council President. Council members, we have possible changes to tonight's final agenda, as well as possible changes to the updated draft agenda for March 10th. First item is Council Member Bingle was interested in a possible motion to defer Resolution 2025-0015, which relates to the land capacity analysis.
Do you want to speak to that, Councilmember?
Yeah, I just heard, from the realtors and the home builders that, they would like to address this. And So I'll be making a motion to defer this for a week. I'll probably add it onto the urban experience agenda next week to where they can come in and share with us a little bit before, but explaining to them like any concerns you have should be discussed with council members this week, and then moving forward next week we'll vote on it.
I think,
Well, I was speaking to it, but I saw
This is
Spencer
Spencer's-
coming up, and I didn't know if he wanted to say anything before. I make that motion. Yep.
Second.
for further discussion, I'd like to have Mr. Gardner come up and speak to that.
Yeah, we had a few questions about this. I think the main thing is there is no deadline looming that we absolutely have to have this vote tonight. I know that was a question from a few different council members. So from our perspective, I think it's fine to wait for a week. And I guess we would just ask if you have questions, please reach out to us. We'd love to sit down and talk if there's anything specific. And for members of the public, I think if there are concerns, the more specific they are, the easier it is for us to respond to those. So just keep that in mind. And again, we're happy to engage and share information. So if there's anybody that wants to meet specifically with us, go ahead and reach out. We'll also reach out to all of you and just see if we can schedule some time.
So, Spencer, I'll just ask about the engagement around this. This just didn't pop up. So I know this has been going on for a period of time. I guess I'm a little frustrated that they waited till the kind of the last minute to bring up their concerns to us for deferral.
We've had a few points of engagement with the Plan Commission. We've done a couple of workshops. I think engagement is a little tricky because this is very technical analysis, and so it's not like we're out in public workshops talking about this because it's very, very technically detailed. We have had a few meetings with interested stakeholders, developers or others that wanted to understand a little bit more about our analysis. So we have had some outreach, but there hasn't really been a full public effort. In terms of the timing comments, I guess I can't speak to that, but we've tried to be available for people that had questions.
Councilmember Cathcart, then Councilmember Bingo.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say, I think they have definitely reached out to the GMA steering with some concerns, as well as they came here. I remember Jennifer Thomas coming here about 4 or 5 weeks ago. It was before the actual plan was out, and so there was a lot of pushback saying, well, let's see when the plan comes out. So the plan is out, and I think they want to just have an opportunity to express their concerns. I will just tell you, I don't think 1 week will necessarily address my unease. I appreciate all the hard work that's gone into this, but my reluctance in voting for this at this point is simply the inconsistency with other jurisdictions, and when the entirety of this whole process affects, growth throughout the region, and what we do affects growth throughout the region. I just think it should be a consistent process, jurisdiction to jurisdiction, and there's no requirement for that, just to be clear. But I do think that would be the better practice, and that's the unease that I have with this at this point in time. So.
Councilmember Bingo, then Councilmember Klitsky.
Yeah, and just for the record, they didn't request a deferral. I'm doing that. They reached out to me today with some concerns, which I wanted to be able to address. Thank you, Spencer and Kevin, for giving me some time today, and I know we'll have some more over the next week to talk through the things because, like you said, it is very technical work, and I don't understand it in depth the way that many others do. Even some of our council members have pretty in-depth understanding of how it all works. I do not, and so I just wanted to be able to ask some questions before I voted on it, and so that's where the deferral came from.
Councilmember Klitsky.
I would just say that there's not really an inconsistency issue. We adopted our countywide planning policies many years ago. We are all using the same methodology, and this is something that was adopted a long time ago that the jurisdictions do use, and then the staff, the technical committee, actually do get together and compare notes. And we have the best and the biggest staff to work on these things. So if there's an inconsistency there, it's more likely that we're going to have to help them, not the other way around.
Okay. Councilmember Cathcart.
Yeah, I would just say the inconsistency is really how we calculate. So with the underdeveloped and underutilized, we are calculating it differently. Well, we're calculating it and other jurisdictions are not calculating it. So I just think that is a massive inconsistency. And so whether or not we don't or they do or vice versa, I just wish we were all doing it the same so that the end result was something that was consistent across all jurisdictions. That's my major unease with it.
Councilmember Klitsky.
I think ultimately the end result will be that we will be doing it the same, but other jurisdictions will have to consider upzoning before they claim that they are going to have to expand.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to defer for 1 week.
To March 10, yeah.
March 10th. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
No? That is deferred. Mr. Wright.
Thank you. Next, council members, are some possible changes to the March 10th agenda. First is a possible motion to defer final reading ordinance C-36646 relating to interim zoning height limits, and to defer that to March 24th, 25, and actually have the date of the hearing on that day. And I guess Spencer's still here to talk about this. So.
Shouldn't have left. Is it okay if I take a moment to explain?
Please.
So this is the interim zoning ordinance for height limits. A couple of things to note. The first is the 24th is the date that we established and that we've been advertising through the SEPA process and everything. So that's why we focused on that date in order to make sure our timelines are all consistent. On the question of a hearing, this is an interim ordinance, so there's not technically a hearing required on the day that it is adopted, but there does have to be a hearing at some point within 60 days of adoption. All we're proposing is that we just hold that hearing the night of the adoption, and then we don't have to come back and hold a hearing later on.
So I'll make the motion to defer final reading ordinance C-36646 relating to interim zoning height limits to March 24th, 2025, and to set the required hearing for the same date.
Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Klitzky. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Abstentions? That is deferred. And then, Mr. Wright, we have one more?
We have one more, yes. We have possible motion to defer final reading ordinance C-36641 relating to the mid-biennial review process, and to defer that possibly to March 24th, 2025. This will allow Councilmember Cathcart, if approved, to submit a revised amendment. So.
Councilmember Cathcart.
Yeah, I will so move the deferral.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Councilmember Cathcart.
And I'll just say, the intent was to try and get something done, but our budget director wasn't able to meet with Jessica Stratton until after the deadline to get some updated language in place. And so just trying to make sure that we can get something a little more thoughtfully done between both the admin and council, and trying to get that accomplished in another week is required to do that.
There's a motion and second on the floor to defer. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any noes? Abstentions? That is deferred. That being said, I'm looking for a motion to approve tonight's agenda and the draft agendas as modified.
So moved.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Second
Any
that,
noes? Second? Thank
Yeah.
you. First move, second, noes, abstain. That motion passes. We are in recess until 6 p.m.
Well done, everybody. Well done.
Quick and easy.